This build really started off in the way that most builds start off. It started with a dream, and we didn't really want to do what everyone else did and just go to the dealership and buy a scrambler. What we wanted to do was make our own, be it really authentic and make it really legitimate in the eyes of the moto building community. Now, as many people in the motorcycle building community are we really searched far and wide for what would be the perfect platform to start this build, and the scramblers we found at the dealership just really left us lacking. They didn't have the sense of adventure and authenticity we've come to expect from our builds. And so we really thought the Gixxer 250 was a perfect platform to create our scrambler. We had really ridden all the scramblers out there on the market. None of them had the spirit of adventure and authenticity we were looking for. We were trying to find a bike that guys like Steve McQueen, Bob Dylan, James Dean, Richard Nixon, Danny DeVito, all those kind of guys that would really jump on a bike and find themselves out in the deserts. So we conceived of a motorcycle that would really outdo any adventure bike on the market, look really cool at the same time, and be true to its roots as an honest-to-God scrambler. Now, as many people in the motorcycle building community are aware, it's very difficult to build a bike. It takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. So we reached out to Suzuki to see if we could get them to support our build. And now they may be a company that's a little bit stuck in the past with some of their motorcycles, but we wanted to bring them into the future with what we're doing with our scrambler build. Mr. Suzuki, it is such an honor to speak to you. This is Yami Noob from YN Cycles. How's it going?
Good. I had to step out of a boardroom meeting for the new Busa. Let's make this quick.
Sure. Listen, so we've got this brand new Suzuki GSX 250R that we're thinking of turning into a scrambler using only the finest materials known to man. And we were really thinking it would be awesome to have Suzuki factory support on this project to show it's possible with the platform.
And what do you need from us?
Well, we would need, full budget commitment and support so that we could make the motorcycle. Hello? Hello? Oh man, I think we're on our own. Without the support of factory Suzuki, we knew that we had to set a moderate and conservative budget for this build because, as we all know, motorcycle builds can get really out of control if you let them go down the money rabbit hole. So we set a moderate $162,000 budget for this project, and we got our team of expert craftsmen and builders to get started on it. The first step for this build was addressing the exhaust. Now, Suzuki spec'd a pretty awesome exhaust on the Gixxer 250, but for our purposes, it just wasn't gonna be enough. First step we had to do was make sure we had ground clearance. So we had our team of expert craftsmen and builders look at the CAD designs and design a perfect rendering of a scrambler exhaust for this machine so that we could get maximum power out of it and the ground clearance that we needed in order to chuck it down the gnarliest trails we could find. After our team of expert craftsmen and builders put together this exhaust, we were worried that the Suzuki 250 would just be way too powerful and would need some fuel management and tuning in order to run correctly. But to our surprise, the bike took the exhaust perfectly, and that means we were able to save $9,600 on fuel management, and we could reinvest that back into PBR and American Spirits. The next step for our scrambler was addressing the wheel, tire, and suspension combination. As everyone knows, a scrambler lives and dies on its wheel, tire, and suspension combination. And for this bike, we kept it authentic and kept it on the 17s so that we could actually feel what those guys back in the 60s and 70s felt as they got their taints smashed along the desert. We spooned on some TKC 80s on this bike, and while the RS10s we had originally did just fine off-road, we knew that in order to go down the Baja, we were going to need a bit of a knobbier tire. We also pushed down the forks on the triple tree to give us an extra ground clearance as well, and this bike actually bottoms out before it even touches anything on the skid plate. Now, the keen moto builders among you in the comments section are probably already letting us know that shoving the forks 3.5 inches down the triple tree is going to massively affect the rake angle and the handling of the motorcycle. But believe it or not, Suzuki has built such a modular and amazing motorcycle in the form of this Gixxer 250 that didn't matter at all. The next pain point we knew we had to address on this motorcycle were the clip-ons. And even though guys back in the 60s and 70s rode around on their cafe racers with the stock clip-ons, we knew that for our purposes, it just wasn't gonna cut it. The handlebar we spec'd onto our Gixxer 250 was actually located in the deep mountains inside of China, and although we did have to wait 3 to 5 business days on Amazon Prime to get it, we think it was worth every bit of the penny of the $4,600 we spent on it. For the handguards on this motorcycle, we also knew that we could not make any compromises. They were meant to protect the levers and the hands of the riders. That's why we went with an anodized uranium aluminum alloy for the handguards. It only cost us $3,300 to put on this motorcycle, and we feel that they can stop a bullet if they really needed to. All of that combined makes this motorcycle's ergonomics package the most authentic experience you could possibly have, while simultaneously smashing your taint on the trails and messing up your back while you ride it. And even though you can roll over a penny and feel it, we think that this is the most important part of the experience of the Scrambler. It's a real bummer, but it's why motorcycles have gotten so soft in the past couple years, and you don't even see riders with back problems anymore. Back in the 60s and 70s, every rider had scoliosis and they were proud of it. One of the most important principles that we followed for this motorcycle was the Japanese principle of Jinbei Ito, which means the lightness of being. That's why we stripped off over 96 pounds off this motorcycle, and we have laid bare Suzuki's beautiful frame and engine for everyone to see. One of the most important things for any build is the maker to leave his mark, and in this case we went with something truly unique that will be show-stopping no matter where it goes. In fact, we're going to show you guys just how we put this together.
Oh my god, just look at that. I mean, how wonderful did that turn out?
That turned out amazing.
So, just apply. Exactly how I imagined it.
Josh, we're showing you this motorcycle for the very first time, and we need to get your opinion on it.
Oh my goodness. This is custom.
It's pretty sick, right?
Dude, I love it. Wow.
Josh, your energy's at a 7. I need you at a 4 right now. Josh, nobody said you could sit on it. Immediately get off this bike. This bike is working pretty good, but I think it needs a little more stiffness at the front and an extra addition for the cup holder. What do you think?
I don't know, man. It was working like a work of art out there. I could really see the vision coming to life.
Yeah.
It felt really emotional out there. It felt like it was ready to be free. I don't know.
Bro, are you crying?
A little bit.
I'm crying a little bit too, man. Man, it's just, you just think about the guys like Steve McQueen and Danny DeVito and how much they had, you know, or these bikes, man. It's just, fuck, dude. It's really emotional out there with the Gixxer here to think of what it could become, bro.
I think this thing's ready for show, man. We gotta take it to show.
Dang. The final piece of the puzzle for this Scrambler build was a skid plate, and we reached out to our contact in China to see if he could forge something for us, but he said it'd be far too difficult. But we here at YN Cycles just don't take impossible for an answer. Using new techniques and tools, we willed together and forged the skid plate right here in-house, and we're extremely proud of this one-of-one plate that we have for this motorcycle. Oftentimes when you see a moto build on the internet, you just see the final product and you don't see the months of sweat, blood, tears, and toil that go into a motorcycle to make it. So we had some serious challenges on this bike. For starters, the front brake line just wouldn't work with our brand new handlebar setup, and so we had to go back to the vault and find Harley-Davidson Sportster line to fit onto our motorcycle. Next up was the Kydex that we put all over this bike in order to make the aesthetics nice and clean. That took years of work, if not decades, to piece it all together. One challenge we really hadn't anticipated was our fuse box. We actually tested the motorcycle out in a very difficult terrain and off-road conditions, and we actually killed the bike and had to leave it out there for several weeks. We came back, picked it up, and then we flew in a team of 10 electricians from Austria in order to figure out the routing for our new electrical system. And although we're showing a couple trouble codes on our motorcycle, we're waiting for a tool to come in, and then we're gonna plug it into the bike, clear those codes, and we're gonna be good to go. All in all, we're really excited and proud of what happened in this special space inside of YN Cycles. It would not have been possible without our expert team of builders and craftsmen doing what they do best inside of here. They came together, executed on a vision, and now we have the world's greatest scrambler before us. It's authentic, it's characterful, and it's everything you want out of a motorcycle. Oftentimes we get asked, how do you guys have the budget to support such amazing builds? Well, it's all in thanks to the fact that people over on yamanoob.co support us. If you want behind the scenes looks to all of our amazing builds and of our other offerings we've got going on here, you should definitely click the link down below and join our amazing community of builders, creatives, and visionaries. You'll be able to see the ins and outs of all of our future builds. You can also purchase our coffee on there, and you can get entered to win a couple t-shirts as well. As we all know, it's so important to wear flashy and cool t-shirts when you're out riding your motorcycle. Our community is filled with thousands of motorsports enthusiasts, from builders to racers and to anime enthusiasts. We want to thank you guys again so much for watching this video, but we also want you to know that we don't rest on our laurels here at YN Cycles. In fact, for 2022, we're actually going to outdo ourselves in terms of the Hobgoblin build and have something even bigger and better in store for you. So you guys want to make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for that.